Hello everyone, and good morning, and welcome back to the Gamer Crafting Podcast. The thing that I had planned for today, I've decided to do differently, and then I had no plan. So today I'm just going to show you all the ways that I waste time on the internet. Alright everyone, so we're just going to have a look through the things that I do online when I should be working or doing something else. These are basically my top procrastination websites. I thought about doing all the things I do on the computer when I should be working, but to be honest, that would be disingenuous because I'd show you a lot of video games, and I don't really play video games when I'm procrastinating because I feel like that's a step too far. If I'm looking at websites, I can be like, oh, it's just for a second, or it's just research. But video games that are full screen, that's a bit of a commitment. So obviously first up is gonna be Twitter. Twitter's a bit of a hot mess lately. Still can't seem to quit it. There's a lot of people on there that I really enjoy talking to. Obviously there's my there's my name there if you want to come follow me on Twitter. I promise that I'm hilarious. Also, I've never quite been able to to break the 1,000 threshold. I get to like within a few, and then Twitter does a massive bot call, and I go back to like 950. So yeah, so I follow some pretty rad people. I genuinely thought that this picture here was from a video game, which tells you how I've been spending my time lately. Yeah, so that's obviously the first port of call is, you know, what's going on Twitter. Oh, the world's still on fire. Okay, that's good. Still on fire. Second thing I do is I tend to wander around on Facebook, which is what lots of people do. But I do spend a fair amount of time in the Gamer Crafting Facebook group. You can request to join. I will pop a link in the show notes. As it says here in the pinned reminder, there are questions that you have to answer in order to join. It's just to keep out bots and spammers, and nobody wants that. Let's see, how many people are in this group now? Almost 230, so we are almost 230 members strong. It's a really chill, laid-back space where everyone's crafty and geeky. We're going to start doing small business promotion threads to help other small businesses promote their things. People share their cosplays in here. It's really fun. So let's see. Oh, there's 3 people who want to join this group, so I will have to approve them when I'm done recording. It's just, stop email notifications. So yeah, it's just a really fun space. I'll drop a link in the show notes. I won't scroll down too much because I don't want people who have posted who maybe don't want it to go out live on the on the podcast, vlog, whatever this is. I'm still kind of unsure. So yeah, that's fun stuff. What else do I do? Oh, Duolingo. Gotta keep up the streak. Actually, I'm not really that bothered about Duolingo streaks, but they introduced this thing where you like compete with other people to do the most amount of XP in a week, and that has really like tapped into my competitive nature, and I've sort of just let it happen. But people are hardcore intense about Duolingo leagues. We're talking people do 70 or 80 lessons a day. It's intense. Just trying to keep up with them is challenging for sure. YouTube, of course, spend a lot of time on YouTube. Sometimes I just have YouTube on when I'm just working on other things, admin, you know, there's always more admin to do. So as you can see, there's quite a few true crime podcasts jumping up in here. My wife and I like to listen to those when we're both working. Skyrim mods, Life is Strange. Subscriptions that I have, obviously other bloggers like Skandir, lots of watercolor tutorials has been my thing lately. Lots of music playlists, and a lot of them are Skyrim. Yeah. So yeah, lots of good stuff here on YouTube. I don't know why it suggests Markiplier to me. I've literally never watched one of his videos. Stop. Just because he has 23 million followers does not mean that I'm here for that. Yeah, YouTube, good place if you need to do something else on the internet, am I right? Oh yes, here's a good one. Walkthroughs. Walkthroughs for video games. I've been playing Far Cry New Dawn. It came out last Friday, and that's been my game of choice lately. I still can't find this particular treasure thing. I wandered around this mountain for like an hour yesterday. I finally gave up. But the tab is obviously still open. A lot of times I'll look at things like this. 40 podcast tips, because the thing that I was going to talk about today, as I mentioned in the intro, I had a better idea and it's going to take more time. I didn't have time to do it all today, especially because I'm collaborating with another channel for it. So this is kind of just a weird hodgepodge of randomness, because I feel like I need to stay on schedule or you're all going to abandon me with Tuesday vlog posts and Saturday live streams. If you missed it last Saturday, we played Disaster Sims. So we had Sims that looked like us and were named after us, but we gave them terrible personality traits, and that was fun. And then we finally beat Oregon Trail, which was an achievement. Anyway, so I was looking at this website and I thought, oh, maybe this will give me some... maybe this will give me an idea for what I should do today. And I did, in fact, go with this one right here. Websites, games, apps that you like. This is how I waste time on the internet. There are other ones in here that I'll probably do, but I didn't quite feel super equipped to deal with any of them today. It is a little bit of a hodgepodge day, and I don't have loads of time today to record. Unfortunately, I have a pretty jam-packed day. In fact, I sort of expect the doorbell to go any second now with an undyed yarn delivery. Full of yarn for me to dye for the OTP shop update, which I'd been hoping to do this month, but as it's the 19th and it's a short month, don't know if it's gonna happen. It'll probably be next month, and then I won't do another non-repeatable update until probably after. I still can't announce that. I probably won't do another one until the summer. Let's just say that. Okay, so Tumblr, I mean, Tumblr's kind of a mess, but I mostly follow recipe blogs. Like, this is what's at the top of my, here's what's at the top of my Tumblr thing today. Sorry, I just realized that my face is in a weird place and I don't know why. Let's see if I can move that. Go. I guess I'll find out later whether that worked or not. So yeah, so you can see the first recipe. Here is gin and tonic truffles. Very exciting. Actually, that does sound kind of good, although I'd rather somebody just made these for me. I did truffles probably a few years ago now, around Christmas, and they tasted good, but they were such a pain to make that I thought I like eating these far more than I enjoy making them. What else is in here? Don't know what that is. Lots of fan art, knitting, tattoos. Yeah, good stuff. Tumblr. Fun times. You can find me on there at Gamer Crafting, the same place I am everywhere else. And obviously, here's the place that we all love to waste time on, is Ravelry, especially if you're feeling like you don't have motivation, you need to look through your library, you want to buy a new pattern. Sometimes you need a little push of inspiration. So I'm gonna show you. I will say I don't actually spend a lot of time on Ravelry unless I'm browsing or purchasing a pattern. I don't really kick around in the forums. I don't have a gamer crafting group on there. And my yarns are all hideously out of date, which I know is a problem for those of you who enjoy stashing things. So that is actually on my list of things that need to get done in relatively short order. I was actually up late last night fixing up other things. I don't know. It's a never-ending list. What could I say? I'm going to show you my library. So here's my library. It's actually not loads in here. I'm sure you probably all expected many more shelves. I'm going to show you, I bought this pattern. I bought this pattern last weekend because I'd been waffling on it for ages, and I finally just decided, you know what, I'm going to get it because I really was looking for, I'm kind of into chunky weight lately. I mean, I don't know. I did a couple of smaller things last year. I did like a 4-ply shawl, and then I did a 4-ply jumper, and they both took so flipping long that, I don't know, I sort of lost motivation at the end of it. So I think I'm definitely more of a product knitter than a process knitter. That boils down to my probably slightly more like productive personality. I don't know. It's not necessarily a great thing to be a workaholic type A, but here I am anyway. So I bought this pattern last week, and I really like it actually. So it's a chunky weight. It's got kind of this, and I'm not usually one that goes for lace panels, but I don't know, a chunky lace especially. So this is not the designer's photo. This is somebody else's photo. Look at that. I love that. I'm gonna tell myself that I'm gonna look as chill and carefree as this beautiful human looks like. Look, that's just, that she just looks like she's about to like wander through the forest on a beautiful sunny day. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell myself that if I knit this sweater, I too will have a beautiful, relaxing walk in the woods. I also tend to work better under deadlines, which I know is not, that's not a healthy thing to work better under deadlines. Don't really know why I am like that, but I definitely am like that. It comes down a little bit to procrastinating, a little bit to multitasking too much. I don't know. Who knows? Brains. Who can deal with brains? So I bought this last week. I'm pretty excited about it. It's not super size diverse, but it goes up to 49.25 bust sizes, so it's not a super tight knitting jumper, so you'll probably get a little bit more leeway where that's concerned. So let's go back. What else did I buy last week? I also bought this last week. This is an unfamiliar to me designer, but my friend Eva tagged me in the post, and she said, oh, you were talking about chunky weight shawls in your last blog with your fox wedding, which I still haven't blocked. What is wrong with me? And so she tagged me in this, and she said, you might like this if you're looking for more, you know, chunky shawls and scarves. And I saw it, and I was like, yes, actually, I do love that. Again, I'm not usually super into lace, she said, showing you 2 lace patterns, but it's more, I don't know, it's less, chunky lace is less terrifying than lace, you know, like Boo Knits patterns lace. And I'll show you Boo Knits patterns in a second if you're not familiar. They're beautiful, but terrify me beyond the shadow of a doubt, for sure. So yeah, I super love this. I especially like this picture here. I'm like leaning really in close to the camera. So it's kind of, it looks kind of like almost like a tessellating floral lace. I think it would look really nice in a tonal maybe, but I'm thinking maybe as a gift for a friend. I don't know. I just really like the pattern, so I bought it. So that's the Winter Harbour shawl. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can, like, there you go. The Winter Harbour shawl. I'll obviously put links in. I'll obviously put links into the show notes as always. What else do I have in here? Oh yes, of course, my Northeasterly, which I've been working on. I haven't quite figured out exactly how I'm gonna have it all laid out, but I also sort of think I'm just gonna carry on and just let it do whatever it's gonna do. So I have been working on the Northeasterly. I also did buy the Southeasterly add-on, which has got ways to sort of you know, kind of zhuzh up your Northeasterly if you're somebody who needs a bit of change. Does it have that in here? No, there it is. So here's the Southeasterly add-on pack. So this, let's see, I'm trying to see what it has in here. I don't know, it's got other things in here. It's got like brioche, like little lace things, texture. Here, that gives you a good idea. Texture, some like brioche, little eyelet lacy things. So that's if you need a little bit of extra in your knitting. So extra. I also recently bought this pattern. So this is from Aroha Knits, who I'm sure you're all familiar with. I super love this pattern. I love the geometric play in the hat, and I think I'm gonna have to make it for myself. I don't know, I find that hats stretch out real easily. Well, on my head anyway. Maybe I just have a big head. So I end up making a couple of hats so that I can still have one when the other one is reblocking back down to size. So I super love this one. I haven't decided what colors I'm going to use, but I'm thinking I'm going to use something super bright, like maybe mix a solid and a variegated, but I love it. And I think she said it's inspired by, let me find out. Yeah, it's inspired by sweet potatoes. Hashtag potato facts if you've been tuning into the live streams. We've been talking, I don't know how this started. It's probably my fault with unnecessary trivia about potatoes. Anyway, but yeah, this is the pattern I was talking about in the live stream last weekend. This is inspired by sweet potatoes, which is a common food source for the Maori, etc. Like, that's so cool. Of course I want a hat inspired by one of my favorite carbs. Who wouldn't? So I bought that, I think, a couple weeks ago. I have some various other things in here. I've got this, which I really do want to make, but it is 4-ply, so I need to, like, really feel inspired to cast it on before I choose colors and cast it on. Otherwise I'll cast it on and it'll just, like, chill in the bag for a year. So this is by Therese, who is a lovely human, and I know her in real life. She's also known as Brixton Pearl on Instagram. I will tag her in this. So this is called the Pom Pom Shawl. I love the Pom Poms. That's just, I don't know. I'm not usually like somebody who goes for like, not frou-frou. I don't really like that. It sounds kind of derogatory. But you know what I mean? I don't really go for like extra frills on things. I don't really like bows or... I realize I'm showing you all this stuff that I want to make that does pom-poms, lace panels. But I love this, and I especially love this photo here. This really shows you kind of the I think that probably a drop stitch lace? I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the pattern. Sort of drop stitch lace. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Blah. And this sort of gray with speckles. I don't know. I think it looks really fab. And, oh, she used Rusty Ferret yarn. Of course, that's why it's so beautiful. Rusty Ferret has beautiful yarns, and whenever I look at her yarns, I feel super insecure about my own, because her yarns are so pretty. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh, this, of course. I'm just taking you on a tour of my Ravelry. This is what this, that's what this episode's about now. Welcome. This is the Vinterskov by Carrie Westerman. I did make this in December. I don't really know when I started it, but once I started it, I did try to just kind of like, and then I basically wore that non-stop for like the 2 weeks before Christmas and then a week after. You may have seen it on my Instagram. Mine was lime green. I'll probably overlay a picture here. But look at that. It's fab. I love the fit of it because it was the first wool sweater jumper I made for myself that didn't have a negative ease, because I'm always like, oh, you know, I don't want to look bulky. But I've been on this new journey of self-acceptance and just thinking, who cares if I look bulky? Like, I am kind of bulky. I'm 5'10". Like, I have broad shoulders and super wide hips. Like, I'm never gonna look like a waif. Never. Ever. Maybe if I, like, swapped bodies, but, you know, we all need to come to terms with what we have, really. I mean, brain transplants, sci-fi brain transplants into I don't know, robotic, I don't know what I'm going for here. My point is that this is the first thing that I made for myself that I wasn't sure if I was gonna love the fit, but you know what? I flipping love it. It's great. That's also why I bought the Wolf River sweater that I showed you just a few minutes ago, because that also, it has more of a relaxed fit to it, and I just figure, you know what, I'm just gonna knit what I think looks cool, and then I'm gonna wander and frolic through beautiful fields of wildflowers, and that's probably not gonna happen. It'll probably be me, I don't know. Anyway, I loved this sweater, and honestly, it was a little bit transformative for me in my own self-image, also because mine was super lime green. Carrie obviously made hers in a really classy, stunning, sort of like mustard gold yellow, and mine was like a screaming lime green. Yes, the beeswax hat, which I mention regularly, made myself one in my Not the Bees colorway, because of course, and my wife stole it. I don't even know where it is. I think she hid it to prevent me from stealing it back. She put it on and she thought, oh, like, doesn't it just look good on me though? And like, I can't lie, it does kind of fit her head better than mine, which is just, don't even know. What should I even say to that? What else do I have in here that I haven't talked about yet? I talked about Fox Wedding and Mitochondrial last week. I have this pattern. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's by Hunter Hammerson. These cute little stars. Look, perfect stash busting. Look at these beautiful buntings. I love them. I don't know if I'll ever make a bunting as much as I like them. I don't know. I love the pattern. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Give me ideas. What should I do with a bunch of stars? Give me an excuse to bust out some sock yarn. And then this, I do want to make this year. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but this is Scobie Fuel. I really super love this sort of inverted trees thing. I'm gonna just have loads of sweaters with trees on it. Like the druid that I am. Everyone always asks, oh, when you played World of Warcraft, what did you, like, what was your main? And it was just, I had alternate characters, of course, but I spent super lots of time playing my druid tank. I haven't played Warcraft in like years, but I was a pretty hardcore player for about 4 or 5 years. Like, that's all I did. That's all I did. So I definitely do want to make this today. In fact, I almost cast this on the same time as I cast on the Venturescoff, but I didn't have the, I ran out of the dye color that I needed for the color that I had chosen, and so I cast on the other one instead. But I do want to make that. I do definitely want to make this year. See, they've used Let Lopey, but I don't know. I don't think that my sensitive snowflake skin probably wouldn't super love Lopey yarn as something to be worn next to the skin. I would definitely wear it for like a bulkier, like, overgarment, if that makes sense. But I'm a big baby, which is why I mostly sell merino. What else do I have in here? Obviously, Woolly Wormhead's Elemental Collection. I made the toph hat for my wife after she stole my beeswax hat, and she chose a green and an orange. Green and orange. And I made it, and then I finished it, but by that time she had already soul bonded with beeswax. What else have I got in here? This. So, Gemma of Snuggly Stars Yarns, who also has beautiful stuff, she and I were going to do a hat along with this pattern, and then she just like raced ahead and finished it in a weekend, and I was like, Gemma, I haven't even picked yarns yet. And I posted about this the other day because I think this designer has just released like a sweater version, and I commented and I said, oh my god, I love it, I need it. And she said, Angie, have you even finished the hat yet? And I was like, I haven't even cast on the hat yet. And it's because I can't decide on how I want the sort of gradient background to look. I keep choosing yarns and then changing my mind, and then choosing yarns and then changing my mind. It's gonna end up being like a mini skein set that I dye up specifically for me for this pattern, because none of the ones that I have are, I don't know, they don't feel right. I probably should just cast it on, just do it. Let's see. I'm pretty sure yes, she did. Here it is. So here's the Alaska sweater. So this was obviously done off the back of the popularity of the hat. So it's got this same kind of, it's not the same chart, obviously, because it's much bigger, but it's similar in style. So let me give you a slightly better, yeah. So there you go. If I did this one, I do kind of want to do this one. Is it 4-ply? No, it's DK. Ooh, that makes me more excited. I don't know if I can face another 4-ply sweater, even though I've already dyed up the yarn and balled half of it for the Chill sweater. I'll show you in a second. It's from like a couple of Pom Pom magazines ago, and it's gonna take me the rest of my life. It'll be my burial shroud. But anyway, so this is DK. That's pretty wicked. I'll probably lengthen the sleeves a bit because that's like, I don't know, I get weird with stuff right around my wrist. I can't even, where's the camera? I get weird with stuff right around my wrist, and I always end up either pushing the sleeves up or pulling it down, and it kind of messes with the knitwear, so I usually have to have it a bit longer and then have a thumb hole or a bit shorter. But I super love this, and it's DK! Oh, I'm gonna end up buying it. I'm gonna buy it probably as soon as I stop recording this podcast. But I think I might want to do like a full sunset gradient, like all the way up. Would that be weird? No, it wouldn't be weird. That would be rad. I'm gonna have to dye up a color pack for myself. If any of the rest of y'all would like a color pack, let me know. So, oh, it's already in my favorites. I went to go add it. It's already in there. Yep, I'm definitely gonna buy that. Let me open that in a new tab, actually, so I don't forget to put a link in the show notes. Also, oh yeah, so that was the Alaska thing, and the new thing that I want. I made the Sunset Highway last year. Yeah, very sort of thing. The bobble hat, everyone has that. Not everyone, but a lot of people have that. I will show you. I love it. And every time I go to cast it on, I forget that it's Aran weight. So I'll go to cast it on and be like, yeah, and I'll pull out all of my DK weight yarn and then realize it's not. I don't know why in my brain that it's always DK. It's not. So that's why I haven't made it yet, because it's Aran weight and it's like kind of oddments amounts of Aran weight. Like I almost feel like if Aran weight mini skeins, maybe, but I can't be bothered to hand wind Aran weight mini skeins. I don't have that kind of fortitude in my life. But it is something that I do want to make at some point. More email notifications. Ooh, where did these come from? I don't know, but I like them. Ooh. Oh, it's a free download. That's cool. I don't know why these are in my library. I don't recognize them. But look, those are fab. Oh, I want those. I'm gonna cast those on. Oh, these are... Oh, look. Different weights of yarn. Aran worsted and sport weight. That's cool. Look at these. These are pretty. I was actually thinking that I need some mitts. I actually didn't do myself any this year, which is unusual. But also, when you have repetitive strain injury or arthritis, it's usually good to sort of keep it warmer rather than colder. So I say that sitting here in a t-shirt. So yeah, I might have to. I'm gonna have to do those. I don't remember putting those in here. It's probably been there a little while. And I also have the So Faded in here, but I don't know. I don't know if I can face it. Maybe. Oh, and then a few more woolly wormhead patterns. This one and this one here. So I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. So Set Vel and Joyce were part of her 2017 mystery hat along, which was in like October that year, I think. And I did both of them because I don't know. But again, this is proving that I work better. Here, I'll just show you. I'll show you both of them. So this was one of them, and it's got this really cool sort of structure, of course, because it's woolly. I'll show you the other one. This proves to you that I work better under pressure, because usually I'm like, oh, I'll do a little bit here and a little bit there, and stuff gets set aside in favor of other things like writing or painting or working on a different project or video gaming or podcasting, which is like my new form of procrastination. And then this one, I actually made with, I think I used Amano yarns for this one, 2 different colors of blue, and I wore it when I Skyped my mom, and she loved it so much that I sent it to her because it was around this time last year, I think, and I was like, oh yeah, we're fine, like, we're not gonna get any more cold weather, so I sent it off to my mom, and then we immediately got this like ridiculous cold snap, and I was like feverishly knitting another hat. So that was part of her mystery hat along. But you know what? I stayed on track with all of the clues. the whole month until both hats were done, which is wildly unusual for me and just proves to you that I'm weirdly competitive with myself. I don't know. Anyway, so those are from last year. I have made those. I am also really bad at actually posting my projects. Look, there's hardly anything in here. I have my Sunset Highway, some coasters from like a million years ago, the mitts I showed you last week. This is a Narita shawl with my friend Mike modeling it. Some socks, you know, like I always forget to put stuff in there. Although, look at it. Credit to me, I did remember to put my winter scob in here. Well done, me. And so you can see the TARDIS on here. Do you know, one of the coolest things that ever happened to me was a few days after I finished the winter scob, I was at South Bank Centre in London with my wife. We were there for like the, you know, the Christmas markets and stuff. We were wandering around in the bookstore that's right around there. And this woman came up to me and she said, "Oh my God, your sweater." She said, "Did you knit it yourself?" And I said, I did. And it was that moment where you're like, my people. And I've found my people outside a knitting group or a yarn show, you know? It just feels more exciting and special to like find your people outside of the confines of where you know that you'd find each other. And she said, "Oh my God, I love it." And then she said, "Oh my God, you've put a TARDIS in there." And I was like, "Yes, I have." And so we were talking about the yarn and we were talking about the pattern and I was scribbling furiously, writing the pattern name out for her. And she's taking notes and everything. And she called a man who was with her over and she was like, "Look," she was like, "I found an indie dyer." And he was like, "Yes, very cool." And she was like, "Look, there's a TARDIS on her sweater." And he was like, "That's so cool." And I was like, "You guys are the greatest." And it just made my day just even better, you know? It's really nice to have that kind of genuine connection with a complete stranger. So I was really grateful actually that she said, because it would have been so easy for her to just kind of see me and not say anything and just kind of, you know, keep it to herself, not say anything. And just kind of think to herself, "Oh, looks like maybe a hand knitted sweater." And no, it was nice. It was a nice interaction. Oh, and this was, don't pin it. What are you doing? Yes, so this was my Perranporth shawl, crochet shawl by Diana, also known as Crochet Chain. And I have always planned to do another one that's like a hot pink for a friend, but I just haven't done it yet. I feel like crochet is one of those things that I always do more of it when I go on a trip somewhere, because it's a lot easier to get a crochet hook through security than knitting needles. I mean, you don't usually have that many problems with knitting needles anyway, but I tend to use Hiya sharps, which are probably slightly more threatening looking than a wooden crochet hook. So I usually just take a crochet project when I'm taking a flight somewhere. Which I am in May, taking a flight somewhere, so maybe I will have to take some crochet with me. Anyway, so yeah, that is how I like to waste time on the internet. Let's just see what's hot right now. Let's see if anything inspires me. Let's see, we've got some cats, we've got, what else have we got? Some cardigans, stripy things. The Weekender, of course. Is this hot right now? Yeah. Look at this Lego blanket. That's fun. Some little mushrooms. You know, I actually crocheted some mushrooms with the little box of crochet kit, like, I don't know, 3 years ago? 2 years ago? This pattern is particularly gorgeous, and I keep seeing it crop up in groups and stuff, and it is a free download. I'll leave this open so I don't forget to put a link in the show notes in case anyone really loves it. I really like it, but I'm trying to move away from doing so many shawls just because I don't know, I don't really wear shawls that much. I'm more of like a hat and cowl person, but that's mostly just because I'm clumsy. I get shawls caught in car doors, like it's not great. I also tend to run kind of hot, so a shawl isn't something that I'm probably going to really walk around in, which is why I've been moving more towards doing more garments and more socks because, you know, probably going to wear socks most of the time. Except in the summer when I'm dyeing yarn, because water just gets all over the floor all the time and you get sick of changing socks every 10 minutes when you spill more. Anyway, I'll leave this up so I can put a link in the show notes to this as well because it is really pretty. I probably won't make it, but the rest of you might be super interested. What else have we got in here? So Willy pattern. Alright, thanks. Get your fade on. I think that fades aren't done yet. I think people are still gonna love them some fades. Color fades and color gradients, it's just something that your eyes like. That's why they're popular. My problem with fades is that I tend to make fades that are so close in color that you almost can't tell that it's a fade. But, you know. I know some people that are making this one here, this Vibe sweater. I've seen lots of them at yarn shows. That's another 4-ply one, so I'm not even going to favorite that because I'll end up making it and then it'll take me a million years. Oh, I was going to show you the one that I do have on my list for this year. So this was in Pom Pom magazine from, it was issue 26, whenever that was. It came out a few months ago, and I remember at Yarnporium, I saw a woman wearing a completed sweater. So that was in November, and I thought, oh my god, you must have done nothing but knit this from the time that it was released, because it hadn't been that long. So I wanted this to be my Christmas cast on, and I didn't have the right needle size, so then I had to order the needles, but because it was over Christmas, they came really late, and by the time they arrived, I sort of lost my momentum to get it on the needles. But I'm definitely going to make one of these because, look, that's just stunning. I already bought the pattern, of course. Mine, however, is going to be purple, like a purpley, and silver, slightly more tonal, not quite variegated, but slightly more tonal. And yeah, no, it's beautiful. There's like a million colorway charts in the pattern. It's going to be, it'll be a challenging knit for me, I think, because I'm not like brand new to color work, but I have bad habits with color work that can then come and bite me in the butt when my tension is wrong or my floats are too tight or too loose. Like, so I have to definitely be careful when I'm doing color work, and this is just, it's color work all over. Look, there's color work everywhere. It's on the sleeves, it's on the front, it's even on the back. It's everywhere. Everywhere, color work everywhere. But look, it's beautiful, and I love it. I'll probably do mine with thumb holes, because that's how I roll. But this is a 4-ply sweater, so that's why I don't want to add any more 4-ply sweaters to my queue or to my favorites this year, because I definitely want to make this, and I can't really be distracted by other 4-ply things if I'm going to make this, because, as aforementioned, I am a slow knitter. I'm a slow knitter and I'm a distractible knitter. Sitting on the couch doing some knitting, and I'll be like, oh, I wonder what's going on Instagram. Oh, like, what was just tweeted? Oh, maybe I should watch this tutorial on how to paint a jellyfish. I don't know. So this is definitely, as you can see, it's already in my favorites. I do already have the pattern and everything, but I just think it's beautiful. So I should probably just add this to my library, because I do own the, you know, I own the thing, the book thing, the issue. Right, so I think that's probably enough. I've showed you my library, I've showed you things that I want to make this year, I've showed you the patterns that I bought last weekend, whenever, sometime in the between last week and today. So that was a tour through things that I waste time on when I should be doing other things. And yeah, there we go.